Hello, owners, and welcome to Week 6 in review, aka Blowout City. Only 5 teams this week went over 100. This week's all 5 of those teams that went over 100 were involved in blowouts, and those blowouts were 50 points or more wins. Fifth game was decided by just over 28 points. Only one close game this week, and that's where we'll start. The Dogs, winners of 4 in a row, but, by the way, not the hottest team in the Peanut Butter Jelly Time League. Dogs top Bathtub Gin, 97.18 to 91.06. Kittle returns to form with 22.4 points for the Dogs on 7 catches for 109 yards and a touchdown. Allen had 19.08 and Woods had 12. They were the top scorers for the Victors. Bathtub Gin started 3-0 and has fallen to 3-3 since. Lamar led that team with 32.24 points. Ridley had 15.9 and the Giants D 13. The Lake Show stopped his losing streak with a 96.42 to 68.3 victory over the Headbangers. The Stash led the way for the Lake Show with 21.62 points. The Bucks D 20 points as they held the pack to 10 points in their game. They had 2 interceptions, including a pick 6. They had 5 sacks versus Ron. So it was a tough game for the Packers. Great game for the Bucks D. Sanders also added 13.7. For Sheboygan, he's led by Mahomes with 24.6 points, Galladay 14.5, and Lindsey 12.1. The Pilot Lights pulled themselves back to 500 with a 142.56 to 70.2 win over the Dragers. Tannehill leads the Lights with 40.56 points as he throws 30 completions for 364 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's over 76 points for Tanny in the last 2 weeks. Kenyon Drake added 30.4, and Connor had 18.7. On the other side of the coin, Diggs 13.6, Aaron Jones 11.6, and the Bears D 11 points. That was the first of the 50-point blowouts, and here are the rest. Mambunga tops the Zooks, 147.42 to 92.04. Kirk, how you like that, Cousins, gets a standing ovation from his family as he scores 31.72 points on 24 for 36 passing, 343 yards, and 3 touchdowns. His score would have been better, but he also added 3 interceptions. Jones Jr., 27.1, and Fuller, the 5th, had 23.3. It seems like those guys are always top scorers for the Zooks. For Mambunga. They rounded out the top scorers for the Victors. I literally rolled out of bed like 10 minutes ago. Got to get in the can for you, the fan. That's right. I'm a poet, and I don't know it. Where was I? Zooks, led by Cook, 17.3 points. The return of the Red Rocket, Andy Dalton, gets 13.04. And Thielen chipped in 12.6. Rattlesnakes notched their second win as they top Cobra Kai in the Snake Bowl, 146.44 to 95.68. Matt Ryan bounces back from his 6.97 outing last week to drop 41.64 points this week. Matty Ice went 30 for 40 for 371 yards and 4 touchdowns. Shit, he even ran 4 times for, let's see if I get this right, 8 yards. George Jefferson. It's not George Jefferson. And only like 4 of us even get that reference. Anyway, Jefferson had 37.1 and CEH 20.9. For Cobra, Kelsey had 21, A.J. Brown 20.1. That was 21 and then 20.1. And then Mixon 13.9. Which brings us to the last game of the week, featuring the two top scoring players of the week. Players, not teams, players, NFL players. Belichick yourself rode Derrick Henry and his 44.4 points to victory over the Rockers, 152.02 to 101.42. By the way, that is also the only game in the league with both teams going over 100 points. Henry led all scorers this week with 22 carries for 212 yards. That's a 9.6 average for the game. Yes, I do love Derrick Henry. Let's see, where was I? He had 2 touchdowns. He also added 2 catches for 52 yards, which again is totally ridiculous. That's 26-yard average on a catch, whatever. The other big scorers for Belly, whose 5th win in a row makes him the hottest team in the Peanut Butter Jelly Time League, included Murray with 32.92 and Amari Cooper with 17.4. The Rockers were led by the second highest scorer this week, Deshaun Watson. He has his best game of the year as he drops 42 points. Not. He was on the bench. Someone got cute and played the matchups and benched Watson in favor of Stafford's 14.32 points. The good side of the coin, and we all have seen this, even if Watson had played, it wouldn't have made a difference. The score would have been closer. Belichick yourself still would have ended up on top. Anyway, so instead the Rockers were led by Julio Jones with his best game of the year. He had 31.7. Then the aforementioned Stafford with his 14.32. And then free agent pickup Tim Patrick, that great rocker, with 14.1. At least my D didn't make the top 3. Woo! All right, news and notes. Thursday Night Football returns this week with a clash of the NFC East Titans as the 1-5 G-Men head south down the Jersey Turnpike to take on the 4-1 Beagles. I can smell the stench of this one an hour and a half down I-95. In other news, we haven't heard much COVID shit this week, and that's good. The Saints will start allowing fans into the stadium this week. 3,000 this week, if everything goes well, up to 6,000 in November, and then up to 15,000 in December. Again, if everything continues to go well in that area as far as COVID is concerned. California also will allow fans in outdoor stadiums in counties that have low COVID rates. Only the 49ers are currently in a county that fit that requirement. However, they released, so up to 14,000 people could attend that game. However, the 49ers have released a statement saying that they're not ready to let any fans at all into their stadium. The Tua Tagovailoa, right? Is that even close? I don't know. Fucking the kid from what? Alabama or something. The Tua era starts in 2 weeks for the Dolphins because they're actually on bye this week. And then locally, it looks like the guys down there in Landover are going to remain the Washington football team for at least 1 year. So again, speaking of the Dolphins, they're on a bye this week. So are the Colts, the Vikings, and those guys in the stadium that you can see from my upstairs back window, the Ravens, all on bye this week. So get those guys out of your lineup. Chopper, you can leave yours in if you want to. That's totally fine. And that's it. So next week is week 7, the halfway point of our season already. Can you believe it? Can you dig it? Halfway point. So next week we'll have our regular review video, and then no promises, but maybe we'll try to put together the half-season report card video as well, and score all you guys. Speaking of not scores, but standings. So we'll go in depth next week in the half-season review. But right now we got the leaders of the each of the leagues starting to distance themselves just a little bit. Belichick yourself with a 2-game lead in Quahog, Chili Dogs with a 2-game lead in the Pawtucket Brewers, and then in the Drunken Clam League, Mambunga and Rockers tied again after the Rockers had gone 1 game up. They're tied again at 4-2, 2 games ahead of the Rattlesnakes in the Lake Show. All right, that's all I got. We will see you next week, and good luck to all of you going into this weekend. I hope you enjoy the shit show Giants and Eagles game on Thursday night, and I am out.